Welcome to the One Piece chapter 1061 review. In this chapter we had a lot of fun and we had a lot of mystery. And I will also explain you why I like to take a day off between a reaction video and a review video. And I will start off by the first thing that we saw in this chapter, the Punk 3 shark attack. So there you actually saw a UNK letter type on the shark, which I did notice because it was kind of big. But then a little later, there was actually written Punk, so I should have actually already known that it was going to be about Vegapunk. But you kind of miss those small details when you're getting excited about something new that you didn't know yet. So what I like to do is I like to take a good night's rest and then also reread the chapter, edit my reaction video, so actually rereading it again, because you know that if you watch my reaction videos, you know that I like to post a little bit of manga panels as well for you guys so you can follow a little better. And by doing that, I actually already read it 2 times, then I read it a 3rd time before I make my review video, and sometimes even a 4th and a 5th time, and this was a case where I read it 4 or 5 times. So then you start to notice a lot of different things that you didn't notice yet because you're not that excited anymore, you're just searching for more details, and that's what gives you a very good review of what the chapter actually had. So after the shark attack, there was actually an issue that I had with the Thousand Sunny. It was sinking. Like, I'm not sure if Frankie would have been able to save the ship, even though it is an amazing ship, without the help of the Vega Force 1 number 12. I will say it like that. Because after the shark attack, the Vega Force 1, number 12, punched the shark. Here I actually also thought that it was Frankie. Again, I missed the detail of the Vega Force written there, which I should have also seen and known that it was about the Vegapunk's machines, right? After that, we also go to the Egghead Island with Jinbei, Chopper, Luffy, and Jewelry Bonney, where we also get a little bit of a good fan service, if you know what I mean, for the degenerates. And she actually reveals that they are on Egghead Island, where Luffy is surprised and says, "Hey, I know that name, that's Vegapunk." So yeah, this is the one that Frankie, of course, is talking about a lot of times against Luffy. Then after that we go to Tashigi and we see a little nice detail. We also see new characters like the Prince, Rear Admiral, and Vice Admiral Dahl. But the nice detail that I'm talking about is that they are actually healing the Punk Hazard kids. So what they're doing is they are giving them medicine where it makes the children, I don't know if you remember them, but the giant children, like Caesar Clown was testing the giant stuff on them, so now they are actually shrinking again. So that's a very nice thing to do, and props to Vegapunk, because it's probably something from Vegapunk, but props to Vegapunk for doing stuff like that. And that actually goes to show that Vegapunk is not that bad a guy, right? So this is another verification that Vegapunk is just a real genius and is not really bad like Caesar Clown is, or at least not to the degree that Caesar Clown is. So that was very nice to see. After we go to Tashigi, Bunny says she has business with Vegapunk. I'm not sure what her business is. I've been thinking about it, and I'm sure if I did my reaction video immediately after my review video, I would have thought, hey, maybe that's her maybe that's Vegapunk's daughter, or maybe she's related or something. But then again, after again rereading it and rereading it, I'm not really sure she is, because she is not really talking about Vegapunk as if she knows him. She's talking about the island that is said to be 500 years in the future. So in my head, that implies that she never actually has been to the island before, and that would not make sense if she was related, in fact related to Vegapunk. But then again, if she is related to Vegapunk, that would actually give us a good reason why Akainu was saving her. Well, not really saving her, but just capturing her alive and not sending her to Impel Down and just taking her to the world government. So I'm very excited to see what her business actually is, because it might as well just very well be that she is in fact his daughter or granddaughter or something. Then we go back to the Vega Force 1, which luckily for the Straw Hats is saving the crew by lifting the ship up. Without Vegapunk, it would actually mean that the Thousand Sunny would have probably sank. Is that a big issue? I'm not sure, because we have Jinbei, and I'm sure Jinbei would have figured something out for making the ship go back up afterwards. So I'm not too worried about that. But a side note about the Vegapunk, about the Vega Force 1, not the Vegapunk, about the Vega Force 1, number 12, it also makes me wonder, is Vega Force 1 like a collective group name like you have in the Air Force? You have Air Force 1, well, yeah, that's the president thing, but I mean, like there are groups, like you have Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. I think you will understand what I'm saying, but that makes me think that it's one of the forces of the Vegapunk, his creations, because it also would not make sense that he would still use like his 12th invention. I'm sure after so many years his 12th invention would already be scrapped and be sitting somewhere in a hangar, right? So that really makes me wonder, is that like the number 12 of the Vega Force 1 group? So would that mean that there are 12 different types of robots in that force alone? Because also the Shark has an other labeling, Punk 03, so not Vega Force 1, Punk 3 or something. So I'm sure he has different groups, and not just like Frankie has the different kinds of things, but Frankie also does not have that many inventions yet, because he is not that... Yeah, he doesn't have that many inventions yet in the Thousand Sunny, right? After that, the Vega Force 1 actually has a woman coming out of it, and that woman claims, or not really claims, but tells the crew that they can call her, mark my words, they can call her Vegapunk. Now, why do I make the emphasis on call her? Because I think she is not really Dr. Vegapunk. I have a few issues with that. Number one is that she doesn't say she is Dr. Vegapunk. We have seen plenty of times where in One Piece where people are introducing themselves and they are just telling who they are. They are not telling people, you can call me that or you can call me that. They are just telling, I am this, or even I'm going to be Pirate King. Things like that. So that brings me to another issue. That woman actually looks young. And we know that the world government does not have immortality going on for them, because law is not in their possession. Law would be the key to immortality, which he explained when he was fighting Doflamingo. But the world government does not have the immortality, which means that Vegapunk would actually already be an old man because he was working in the past with Caesar Clown, Judge from the Vinsmokes, and who again? I actually forgot who they were working with again. There was another person. I kind of forgot. Anyway, not important. So the reason I say she is too young is that we saw a flashback with King and Kaido. Yeah, with King and Kaido. I was going to say Queen there. With King and Kaido, who were in the lab of Vegapunk when they were younger. Like, I'd say 20 years ago. Not even 20, more than 20 years ago actually, probably. So that would make Vegapunk already well over his 40s and 50s, and like around the age of, I'm going to say, at least, at the very least, and I'm sure it's going to be way higher, at the very least she would be the age of Shiki. Shiki looks older. She doesn't look bad, she looks older, right? So that's the second issue I have with it. The third issue is that Vegapunk actually appeared in the Punk Hazard arc when Caesar Clown was talking about him in episode 610. And there we clearly heard Vegapunk talk to Caesar Clown, and clearly it was a male voice, and it even had an old man's voice crack. Well, not really crack, but it had like an old man's voice after effects, if you know what I mean, in the voice. So that already implies that Vegapunk is a male, because why else would they make a male voice actor for it? Unless, of course, Oda did not intend Vegapunk to be a female from the start, which is also a possibility. But then there are other issues that I have. Not only that, there is an instance where the G5 Marines, I don't know if you remember them, but they were the Marines that were with Smoker, who were heading to Punk Hazard. They were talking about Caesar Clown and Caesar Clown and Vegapunk, and when they were referring to Vegapunk, they were referring to him as an old man. I'm sure you will not refer to a woman as an old man, right? And then the final issue that I have with it, and the most important one, is that Kuma referred to Vegapunk as a man or a him and things like that back in episode 377, where Kuma was fighting Zoro and Zoro was just getting to know that Kuma is in fact a pacifista. Or if you want the chapter I'm talking about is chapter 485. So you can go ahead and look it up. I even posted up, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm so gassy right now. I even posted up on the screen, so you can go ahead and pause it and read it again if you want. I'm just saying what I researched because I had a lot of time to reflect on it. And then there is another thing where I actually think that the woman that we see might actually be a creation of Vegapunk. The shirt on the woman says Punk 02, which is implying that she is another creation. So I don't think she, in the case that she would be his daughter or granddaughter or whatever, I don't think she is his natural granddaughter or daughter. What do I mean by that? Perhaps Vegapunk put his DNA in a clone or whatever, or I don't know, made a test tube subject or whatever, put them in a tube and grew them like that, or maybe she's an android, or perhaps she's like Sanji and Ichiji, Niji, Yonji, just like, yeah, just like Judge's children. Because actually, that wouldn't make the most sense, because Judge has that intelligence and that creation. And also, I think he was referring to it that he wanted the best Vegapunk, so by that I actually think that he is also referring to Vegapunk already having creations like that. So that would make sense that Vegapunk actually has creations like that as well. So in the end, I think there are only 3 options that we can look at as to who this woman is. And it's not going to be that she is Vegapunk. Or there is the thing where Oda did not intend Vegapunk to be a woman from the start. And maybe he thought it would be funny to make Vegapunk a woman in the end. But I'm sure he did not intend her to be a woman because of all the instances that I was just talking about. I do want to say that it's not a bad thing that not everything is planned out from the start. So I don't want people getting all offended by me saying, Oda did not plan this. Oh, you're just hating on Oda. Oda knows everything, blah blah blah. Because I have this feeling that people give too much credit, I'm gonna say it like this, too much credit to Oda by making it so that people will believe you by saying, Oda did it again, Oda did this, Oda did that. I don't think it's a bad thing that not everything is planned out from the start, because it actually makes for a very creative brain, as in you make a mistake by making something and then you adapt your writing to make it even better. Just like how I am sure that Oda actually did not intend there to be armament haki and Conqueror's haki. I'm sure there was a thing for that, but armament haki, I'm sure there was not an intent to make that from the get-go, because there were Logia fruits who were so overpowered and we could only beat them by making our fists bleed like Luffy did and punching them, because water against Logia works. And we also never saw any instances where we could actually attack a Logia before Marineford or whatever. So I think that people actually give too much credit, in the sense that they think Oda planned everything, but it's not a bad thing that you never plan all the things that happen inside a story, because it gives yourself the opportunity to be free and find a solution for everything and show your creativity, just like Oda did. So that is actually the thing that I think Oda is very strong in, and I don't think it's the planning ahead and stuff like that. Of course, he is a great storyteller and makes a lot of stuff happen for a reason, just like Blackbeard's bounty and stuff like that, and he made a ton of cases where he used things from the past and implied them in the future. But yeah, I don't think that people should call him Goda that quick, because I'm sure that also puts a lot of pressure on him as well, as to being a writer, and you don't want great writers like that to be worn out, right? In the end, I gave this chapter a 4.5 out of 5 for 3 major reasons. The mystery was top-notch. The pace of this chapter I actually loved because it felt really good. I don't know if you agree with me, but it felt like very fluent, but not too fast paced. And there was also a little break with the Punk Hazard kids, which I appreciated, as to finally getting a little bit of information about those children as well, because it's been like a long time since we saw them. And then of course the third and but not least reason is the little bit of fan service that we got for the degenerates, including myself. So anyway, that was about the review that I wanted to give you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you enjoy my reactions and review videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. But I also want to tell you guys that the next few chapters I will probably be on break myself, and not only the chapter break, because I'm going to be on a holiday. So anyway, I'll catch up with you guys later. I'll do a read-through later on when I get back, and I'll keep you guys updated. So anyway, bye.